West Bengal's new crackdown on illegal immigration is now showing its first big impact on the ground. Scenes of chaos and uncertainty have been emerging along the India-Bangladesh border in West Bengal. Scores of people identified as undocumented Bangladeshi immigrants have gathered near the BSF's Hakimpur checkpost in North 24 Parganas to cross back into Bangladesh. Visuals from the border show groups of men, women and families standing near the checkpoint as security personnel monitor the area. Officials say many of those gathering at Hakimpur had been living and working in different parts of West Bengal, and they started moving towards the border after the state government intensified its crackdown on illegal immigration. The first Bharatiya Janata Party-led West Bengal government has launched a statewide identification and verification exercise. It is aimed at tracking undocumented foreign nationals, removing them from official records and preparing them for deportation. Authorities have also started creating a detention infrastructure to process those identified during the drive. This is, remember, the first major ground impact of the BJP government's new Detect, Delete and Deport drive targeting illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and Rohingyas in the state. Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari directly referred to the situation at Hakimpur and said illegal Bangladeshis had gathered at the checkpoint in Bashirhat subdivision. He urged officials to speed up the deportation process.
पुलिस को हम लोग बता दिया जेल में भेजने का जरूरत नहीं है। देश के रुपया में खाना खाएगा, कपड़ा देगा, मेडिसिन देगा। एक दामाद है ये लोग। जल्दी जल्दी भागो, जल्दी जल्दी भागो, नहीं तो जो करना है सरकार करेगा।
Well, the current crackdown gained momentum after the BJP government issued a notification on Saturday. It was issued based on guidelines from the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. This order directed district magistrates to establish holding centers for suspected illegal immigrants before their repatriation to Bangladesh. Within just 48 hours of the notification, the first two holding centers became operational in Malda and Murshidabad districts. Officials have equipped these centers with CCTV surveillance, security personnel and basic facilities for the detainees. Under the new framework, authorities can hold suspected illegal entrants for up to 30 days while they verify identities, collect biometric data and upload information to the central databases. The situation in these border districts remains highly sensitive. Remember, both Malda and Murshidabad share long international borders with Bangladesh, and they have historically remained under the security spotlight due to concerns over cross-border movement and infiltration.
এখানে আমরা থাকতে পারছি না, আমাদের কোনো কাগজপত্র নেই, তাহলে আমরা থাকবো কি করে? ওই রাস্তায় মালটাল কুড়িয়ে খেতাম। ও যখন ঢুকেছিলাম মানে দালাল দিয়ে ঢুকেছিলাম আর কি। তারা আমাদের কাছে 800-900 টাকা করে নিয়েছিল, নিয়ে পার করে দিয়েছিল।
আমার মানে আইডি কার্ড সবই আছে। আমি এসেছিলাম এখানে মানে বন্ধু বান্ধবের মানে একটা চাকরির জন্য বন্ধু বান্ধবের সাথে। পরে আমি চাকরি পাই না, এখন আমি দেশে ফিরতে চাই। এখানে সুবিধা হচ্ছে কিছু? না, এখানে কিছু সুবিধা হচ্ছে না। তুমি চাকরি পাওনি ওই জন্য যাচ্ছ? আমি ভুলবশত এখানে এসে পড়ছি বন্ধুদের সাথে, এখন আমি যেতে পারছি না, কিভাবে যাব এখন?
This is also not the first time that such scenes have played out at the Hakimpur crossing point. In November of 2025, thousands of suspected illegal Bangladeshi immigrants had gathered at the same border checkpoint after the launch of the special intensive revision exercise in the state of West Bengal. The developments in Dhaka will be closely watched In fact, the developments in West Bengal will be closely watched in Dhaka, with more than 80%, remember, of the India-Bangladesh border now under BJP-governed states. There are growing concerns that large-scale deportations could strain bilateral relations, just as both countries attempt to stabilize their diplomatic engagement. Moving on, a new space race is unfolding. This time, the prize is not just landing on the moon, but living there permanently. And America's NASA is now betting nearly $20 billion on what could become humanity's most expensive home. Our next report gets you more.
We are going back to moon, and this permanently. That's the big announcement from NASA. US wants to land Americans back on the moon before President Trump leaves office in January 2029. NASA will establish the moon base in the lunar South Pole region. Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin will provide landers to deliver moon buggies to the lunar surface. NASA also revealed that private players would be providing rovers and drones for a sprawling moon base.
Now, Moonbase 1 will be the first privately funded lunar lander mission in history. The Blue Origin Mark 1 Endurance lander will deliver multiple payloads to the Shackleton Connecting Ridge, a strategic area of the lunar South Pole.
This is no longer science fiction. NASA has officially begun the early stages of building a long-term human presence on the moon under its Artemis program. The US Space Agency reveals that it would be done in 3 phases. In the phase, NASA tests robots, landers, and technology near the moon's South Pole before long human missions. Then in phase 2, which begins in 2029, early habitats, power systems and rovers are built as astronauts begin longer stays. And in the final phase from 2032 onward, NASA aims for a permanent human presence with regular missions and expanded lunar bases.
Moonbase will be home base for our Artemis crews and will encompass long-duration stays, expanded robotic and human capabilities, and an enduring presence on the lunar surface.
NASA is competing with China to return humans to the lunar surface, meaning the American Space Agency is under pressure to appear to be winning the new space race. China has already landed robotic missions on the far side of the moon and is working with Russia on plans for a nuclear power station for its lunar base, which is plans to build by 2035. Space is increasingly viewed not just as a scientific frontier, but as a domain tied to technology, military capability, and geopolitical influence. The moon itself also holds valuable resources. Scientists believe frozen water exists near the lunar poles. That water could eventually be turned into drinking supplies, oxygen, or even rocket fuel for deeper space missions. Washington and Beijing are drawing lines in the lunar dust, and the second space age has officially begun.
Shifting our focus now, superbugs are a big health hazard, resulting in 4.95 million deaths on an average per year. While this is usually attributed to the overuse of antibiotics, scientists have now found another reason for rising antibiotic resistance. According to a study published in the Lancet journal, researchers from UK, France, Australia, Switzerland and China found that climate change is linked to increasing antibiotic resistance in Salmonella, a bacteria that can survive several weeks in dry environment and several months in water. This bacteria is found in animals such as pigs, cattle, cats and dogs. According to the World Health Organization, it is one of the 4 key global causes of diarrheal diseases. It also causes a disease named salmonellosis. People contract this disease by consuming contaminated food of animal origin such as eggs, poultry and milk. It is characterized by an acute onset of fever, abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea and vomiting. As part of the latest study, researchers analyzed genomes of over 480,000 Salmonella samples from 139 countries. They compared levels of antibiotic-resistant genes with changes in average temperature and rainfall over a period of time. Finally, they associated climate change with a 10% global increase in Salmonella-resistant genes between 1940 and 2023. Now, what explains this phenomena? Well, the study suggests rising temperatures and changing rainfall patterns can influence how bacteria survive, mutate and spread. The strongest climate-associated increase was found in West Asia, North Africa, followed by South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. India, meanwhile, is also facing a major challenge as far as superbugs is concerned. A study published in the eClinical Medicine journal last year said that nearly 83% of patients in India may be carrying multi-drug resistant organisms. Another Lancet report estimated that 3 to 10.4 lakh people in India died in 2019 due to antibiotic-resistant superbugs. So what is the way ahead? Well, authors of the study stress that climate change mitigation efforts, coupled with responsible antibiotic use and improved disease surveillance, will be key to limit the future spread of antibiotic resistance.